I want to talk about the head of USAID getting fired. Trump fires USAID's Inspector General after his office released a report critical of the administration. This is great framing by NBC, which is like Trump is only doing this because he's a bully.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Trump fired
him because skipping all of the context of the last couple of weeks where they were like, hey, are you guys spending money effectively? And the agency was like, get away from us.
Yeah. This guy, by the way, is the Inspector General. He's in charge of overseeing looking for fraud in the USAID. Like, he's clearly not doing his job.
Well, why would he do his job? That would just be mean. And
that's crazy. Yeah.
This says the Inspector General at the U.S. Agency for International Development was fired Tuesday, a day after his office released a report detailing negative impacts of the Trump administration's dramatic downsizing of the agency, according to a letter obtained by NBC. The downsizing over 2 weeks. They immediately produced a report being like, see how bad this is?
Oh,
this seems,
my God.
Doesn't that seem kind of crazy rather than spending the time to be like, okay, well, how can we be more efficient? Instead, they're like, no, you're the problem, Trump.
He was notified of dismissal by email.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Imagine how goddamn stinging that must have been.
You're fired. Thank you. I think the email, I saw the email. It ends with, thank you for your service.
Yeah.
At Inspector General.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Terminated effective immediately.
That must have been hilarious.
I mean, I'm sure it's an affront, but on the other hand, I don't understand why this agency was like, I mean, I do understand, but they should have at least tried to present a front that they were cooperative, right? They immediately went to victimhood, which tells you about who's leading it. We're being attacked. Trump is doing the wrong thing. We've never done anything wrong in our whole lives. Meanwhile, it's like, what, $50 million of condoms to Gaza?
Yeah.
I
Don't
think
forget the rubbers that they sent to the Taliban, too. They also did that.
Well, they needed it. I stand by that one.
No, that one was okay. Yeah. Right.
They're not going to use them for anything other than bomb balloons, but.
Right. I mean, I just think it would have, in this era of like, all of the agencies and all progressives, whether they're bureaucrats or politicians, I feel like they're at this crossroads where they have to decide, are they going to dig their heels in and go further anti-Trump, no matter what Trump and his administration does, it's bad? Or are they going to say, look, it seems like we have some mutual interests. Let's see how we can work together, and instead it's almost illogical what the temper tantrum they're having or the panic that they're trying to
they could have probably saved something, right? Like they're probably, so they released this report and the report's like, there's $8 billion in food that's going to spoil now that there's no one here to distribute it. It's like, well, why don't you just fill up here's what you do. Take that $8 billion in food and spread it around every food bank in America. Done. Like there are
volunteers at food banks that would drive to go get it wherever it is.
Yeah.
Like,
of course.
They themselves can't distribute it because the staffing is gone. There are solutions. Instead, you guys are actively holding these assets hostage to have this tantrum, in my opinion.
But there's too many regulations. When you talked about working together and stuff like that, I had to chuckle because that doesn't appear to be something that the current government, the Uniparty, is interested in.
Isn't it funny? Isn't it? It's not funny, but
it's sad.
Isn't it? No, but where have all the Never Trumpers gone? What happened to them?
I think they're becoming
all those Republican Never Trumpers. They're real quiet now.
They're quiet, or they have converted into Elon Musk is the devil, and he has come to ruin the government. Like in some ways, I think anti-Trump energy this time around is becoming directed at Elon Musk. And Elon Musk is not perfect. I think it's fair to treat him skeptically at times, but so much of the criticism that they're levying at him reminds me of the anti-Trump sentiment. But Trump won across the board. I mean, the numbers during the election were devastating. And so you can't actually criticize Trump the same way they wanted to in 2016 and 2020.
Yeah, it doesn't work. And you can see it on CNN. Like CNN, somebody was saying, like, some viral tweet was like, fire this what is his name, Scott Jennings or something, I forget what his name is. He's a conservative on their panel show, and they're like, fire him. I'm like, you guys understand that he's the only reason anyone watches you.
Mhm.
Nobody's putting out clips of CNN other than that guy roasting liberals. And CNN knows it. Like, they know that he's a draw. I mean, that's the reason that Piers Morgan does that. Like, Piers canceled on me yesterday. I was supposed to be on a show today, but I think it was because I had a too tame of an opinion. They're like, we'll bring you back for another topic. Because they're like, we want to have you on to talk about Trump taking on Gaza. I was like, you guys know that that's just fourth dimensional chess. He's not taking over Gaza. And then like 5 minutes later, they're like, yeah, we'll have you on a different show. And I was like, oh, perhaps I should have said, I think they wanted me to be like more outraged. Because it was like,
You should ask them to email you the script they need next time.
yeah, well, they did. They
I'm just
kind of
kidding.
led me, and they were like, is this betraying the mega base? So I think they wanted me to be like, this is a great betrayal. But I was like, nah, he's not really doing that.
They also want you to say MAGA base, like true Wisconsinite accent, so all the British
MAGA.
people can be like,
MAGA base.
that's
Yeah.
an American accent.
Yeah.
They don't. The legacy media never wants nuanced opinions. If anyone ever gets contacted by a member of the legacy media, be aware of this fact. This has happened to be a couple times already this year, and it'll probably happen a dozen times more.
Yep.
They always want you to say something outrageous.
Yeah,
I would do anything to see Styx the pirate on Piers Morgan in one of those like multi-panel shots. I feel like that would be incredible.
I wouldn't want to be in the same room with Piers Morgan.
You could do it virtually.
Asking me about Gaza is like the worst possible topic anyway. So like, bring me back on with something I can disagree with Piers on, because like, I don't like Piers Morgan. And I would love to be on a show so I can disagree with a British man telling an American how I'm supposed to run my country. Like,
what is your opinion? What is your opinion on English breakfast tea or something?
Yeah,
like
hey, Piers Morgan.
Just toss it in his face.
How are all the unstoppable rapes going in your country? How's the number one birth name in your great country, Mohammed, treating you? You big fan of that? Hey, Pierce, you a big fan of your government covering up grooming gangs? You cool with that? I know he wasn't cool with that one, but like, there's something about smug British assholes telling America how we're supposed to run our country. Like, we kind of settled that a long time ago. We don't
talk
really
about the American Revolution and be like, hey, how did that war go for you back then a few hundred years ago?
Yeah.
I like this because you can tell how like deeply generational Jeremy's American patriotism is. Like he's like the British. They're just the. I worked my editor before this, Chris Carr. You know, so I'm British. My family is British.
I knew you were gonna. Yeah, I knew you were gonna.
No,
I was like,
I remember talking to Chris Carr and him being like very nice. We worked together for weeks, and eventually he was like, "I just need you to know, like, I hate the British. I just do." And it was so funny.
I don't hate the British. I just love
America.
I love
America. What do we think about the French, though?
I don't hate them either. They should go to the dentist every once in a while. Same with
Jeremy
the
just look down on them.
Yeah, I feel bad for them. No. I don't, and to be clear, like
Jeremy here's the legacy media clip. Jeremy looks down on his French fans.
Yeah,
a lot of Americans would be like, yeah, that makes sense. Like,
yeah, I would be a rock star. They'd be like, yeah, good. I don't have a problem with British people, just ones that tell me how to run my country, like, which is the vast minority of British people. I'm basically talking about TV pundits. And I don't think the Brits want to hear from me about how they should run their country either. Like, it's I think that's very like, I think that everybody feels that way,
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I don't tell Canadians how they should run their country,
Well, I
look forward to advice.
I have advice.
Yeah.
What's that?
We can all advise the Canadians. They're attached to us. I look forward to you both making your debut on Piers Morgan, because I just think you'd both do wonderfully, and aesthetically you'd bring a lot to the panels, who to me look all the same.
Yeah.
No fault of their own.
I was supposed to be on with Cenk Uygur today. It was supposed to be me, Cenk Uygur, and some Arab sounding guy. And I was like, I'm probably out of my depth on this one. Like, I was having some anxiety about it. Like, Gaza, like, can't we talk about stupid Anthony Mackie saying America doesn't represent him? Can we Can we talk about literally anything with Doge? Like, I can go on for days with that. Or like Gaza's like literally my weakest position. Like, not I don't know anything about it. And I don't care. I don't care about Israel. And I don't care about Gaza. They can blow each other up for all I care. Like, I
think it's interesting whenever you talk about Gaza, if you're like, yeah, seems complicated. My interest is actually in what's going on in America. That's my priority over absolutely everything. Like, it kind of dulls the debate. When
there's zero homeless people in America or zero problems, then we can talk about other countries.
Yeah, people don't understand the nuance. You don't have to be Team Israel or Team Palestine or anything like that. You can say, look, there's several million homeless people already in our country. Can't we take care of them? Wouldn't that be a priority for the U.S. government? I don't think that it's the Israeli government that's going to take care of them. I don't think it's the Palestinian government or the Jordanians or something like that.
There are people like, oh yeah, turn it into Dubai and this, that, and the other thing. I'm like, no, make it Dubai in America. Why? We don't need that. And by the way, you would need significant boots on the ground at all times to protect that.
No, thank you.
None.
Only boots at our southern border if we need them.
Yeah, and northern. I would put them at the northern and southern border.